So let us elaborate quite more about the region of convergence. To elaborate more about the region of convergence, we will write the complex variable z in polar form at r z is equal to r e to the power j theta. In complex plane, if we see, this is real part of z and this is imaginary part of z, and when I am expressing this thing in this form, what does it mean? That this is having magnitude r and angle theta like this. So this z can be expressed like this. This part is r. Magnitude of z is represented by r and angle of z is represented by theta. Okay. Now if we write the mathematical form of the z transform using this expression, so the z transform can be written as, where I am writing z to be equal to r e to the power j theta. So this happens to be summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity xn r e to the power j theta to the power minus n. Okay, because z is to the power minus n. So this is equal to n is equal to minus infinity to infinity xn r to the power minus n e to the power minus j theta n. Okay. Now to exist this z transform will exist only if this mod of xz becomes less than some infinity, or it is absolutely summable only if this is absolutely summable. Okay. This contributes to some finite value. Okay. Now what are the conditions for this to become finite? We will take mod value at both the sides. So this will be equal to mod of summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity xn e to the power, not e to the power but r to the power minus n e to the power minus j theta n. So this mod of whole value, mod of whole summation is always less or equal to the sum of the mod value. Summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity and the mod is xn e to the power r to the power minus n e to the power minus j theta n, and this will contribute, the mod of this will contribute only to the value 1. Okay. So it is not needed to write it over here. So this is equal to summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity xn r to the power minus n. Okay. Got the point? Now this summation can be broken in two parts, since it is this summation is ranging from minus infinity to infinity and there is a point n is equal to 0. So before this n is equal to 0 is one part, means up to n is equal to minus 1 there is one part, and after n is equal to 0 there is another part. We will break this summation in two parts. So now summation n is equal to minus infinity to minus 1. Okay, the same thing, xn r to the power minus n plus summation n is equal to 0 to infinity xn r to the power minus n. Okay. Now we will simply change the indices, and making change in indices will contribute in no harm. N is equal to, can be written as n is equal to 1 to infinity rather than minus infinity to minus 1. We will write it 1 to infinity. We will make equation n is equal to, if you put minus l or l is equal to minus n, you will obtain this kind of thing. So n is equal to 1 to infinity x minus n r to the power n. This can be written like this. Okay, and second part, n is equal to 0 to infinity xn r to the power minus n. I am not making any change in this. Only change that I can write it like this. Okay, r to the power minus n can be written like this. If you observe this first summation, it can attain a finite value only if the value of r happens to be less than some minimum value. Okay, suppose we choose some value of r. Below this series converges. Suppose if we take this value of r to be equal to 1.1, naturally it will diverge, because as n grows, this value grows. If we take r to be equal to 2, this series diverges, because as the n grows, this value grows. 2 is to the power 2, 2 is to the power 3, this value grows. Okay, but if we take this value to be equal to 0.9, r equal to 0.9, naturally it will decay. Okay, so below some value of r, this series will converge. So naturally we will take some value of r below which all the value of r, for all the value of r, this series converges. Okay, so region of convergence mod z is less than, we can say that it is less than some value alpha. It is less than some value alpha. R is less than some value alpha, below which this series converges. First series converges. Now consider for the convergence of this. After some higher value, we will select one higher value, and above that higher value, it will converge for all the value, all the selected value of, say that minimum value is beta. This alpha is maximum value, below which for all the value of alpha this series converges, and this beta is minimum value above which this second power series converges. Suppose this is the value beta. Above this is the minimum value beta. Above this, if we select any value of r, this power series converges. Okay. Selecting this value to be minimum is harmful for the convergence of this series. Okay. We select this value to be maximum, and among those maximum there should be some minimum above which all the value contribute to the convergence of this series. Okay. So now if suppose in total the whole series has to converge, this whole series has to converge, then what to happen? There should be some common region between this and this. There should be some agreement between this and this. Okay, and what is that agreement? If you see, there should be some value beta above which all converges. All the point in Z domain, they contribute to the region of convergence, and there is some value alpha below which all the value contributes to the point which comes under the region of convergence. This means this annular region is the region where both these summations they agree, and they commonly contribute to the points of Z which contribute to the region of convergence. Okay. So this annular ring form the common region of convergence. But there may be a case where we do not get any common region of convergence. In that situation, the Z transform does not exist. Got my point? In that situation, Z transform does not exist. If we don't have any point of Z for which the power series converges, in that situation Z transform does not occur. Okay. Now let us take another example. Determine the Z transform of the signal xn is equal to alpha n un. Alpha n un. we have to determine the Z transform of this signal. And this signal can be defined as, it takes value alpha n for n greater or equal to 0, and it takes on value 0 for n is less than 0. Okay. So this seems to be very simple to evaluate the Z transform of this signal. So the defining relationship says that summation n equal to 0 to infinity alpha n Z is to the power minus n. Un has been imposed, the condition of un has been imposed over this summation, okay, because this takes on finite value only for n is greater or equal to 0. Okay. So needless to write this n ranging from minus infinity to infinity. Okay. So this is summation n equal to 0 to infinity alpha Z inverse to the power n. Okay. So similarly this is 1 plus a, if we assume this to be equal to a, so this is equal to 1 plus a square plus going this way up to a n. Okay, this is an infinite series, and it takes on finite value only this, provided mod a is less than 1. This is a GP, okay, geometric progression. So this will be equal to 1 over 1 minus alpha Z inverse. The closed form of Z transform is this. And what is the region of convergence? Alpha Z inverse should be less than 1. This means Z mod Z should be greater than some alpha. Mod Z should be greater than some alpha. And mod Z should be greater than some alpha means the region of convergence is exterior to a circle having radius alpha. The region of convergence is exterior to a circle having radius alpha. Got my point? Okay. Whereas if you look the time domain picture of this signal, how this signal will look, the very first sample will be alpha. Alpha to the power 0 is alpha or 1. This is 1. The very first sample is 1. Then second sample is alpha. Third sample is alpha square, alpha cube, like this. This is the time domain picture of this signal. Okay. So you see the closed form expression of this and region of convergence. And now I am going to give you another example. This will clarify the role of region of convergence before you. Now, if somebody is asking you to determine the Z transform of a signal minus alpha n, u minus n minus 1, minus alpha n u minus n minus 1. Okay. So how can you define this signal? This signal can be defined as, since this is multiplied by minus alpha n is multiplied by u minus n minus 1. So you will once you will fold the un to obtain u minus n, and then you will left shift that un by 1 unit to get this multiplication. Okay. So naturally this signal is defined for as a minus alpha n for n is less or equal to minus 1, and it is 0 for n is greater or equal to 0. Okay. So how this signal will look like in time domain? This is n and this is xn if you see. So the very first signal occurs at n equal to minus 1. Okay. And that is alpha to the power occurs at minus 1. Okay. Minus alpha n occurs at minus 1. Then at minus 2 like this. Okay. This signal will look something like this in time domain. Okay. Now you obtain the Z transform of this signal. If you write the expression for Z transform of this signal, xz, the normal expression says that it is summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity xn z is to the power minus n. But from where to where this xn exists? This exists only for n is equal to minus infinity to minus 1, and it attains the value minus alpha n in that duration, okay, and z is to the power minus n. So better to take this minus outside and make this n equal to minus L, n equal to minus L, and while making this you will obtain that this is n equal to 1 to infinity alpha inverse z to the power n. Am I right? This you can put like L equal to 1 and this like L. This will not make any change in the sense. Okay. This is once again, since L is starting from 1, this you can equate to be equal to A. So this will contribute minus sign A plus A square plus A cube like this. Okay. And we have infinite number of terms. So you can take A common, A outside. So it will be minus A 1 plus A square. Okay. So this is equal to minus A over 1 minus A, provided mod A should be less than 1. Okay. So this is minus, and what is A? Alpha inverse Z over 1 minus alpha inverse Z. This is the closed form of this summation, provided alpha inverse Z should be less than 1. Okay. So what this region of convergence says, that mod Z should be less than some alpha. It should be less than some alpha. Okay. And if you do some kind of mathematical manipulation into it, you will obtain that this is equal to 1 over 1 minus alpha Z inverse. You see the closed form of mathematical expression for earlier signal. Here the signal was alpha and un, and the expression is this, xz is equal to 1 over 1 minus alpha z inverse. And if you look at the closed form of mathematical expression, it is same, but the signal is different. Here signal is different. Okay. But we are getting the same expression. But where is the difference? The difference occurs in the region of convergence. Here the region of convergence, what z was greater than mod z was greater than mod alpha, and here the region of convergence is mod z is less than mod alpha. Okay. So two different signal may have the same closed form of mathematical expression for Z transform, but they will have the different form of region of convergence. Okay. So region of convergence together with the closed form uniquely describe the signal. Got the point? That's why region of convergence becomes so significant in Z transform. Now let us investigate for the Z transform of another signal. Okay. So what will be the Z transform of these signals? The summation of this signal is meaningful only for n is equal to 0 to infinity, because this is un, and the summation of this signal is meaningful only for the n is equal to minus infinity to minus 1. Okay. So summation n is equal to 0 to infinity alpha n z is to the power minus n. Okay. This is the defining relationship of Z transform for this part of the signal. And for this part, summation n is equal to minus infinity to minus 1 beta n, here the signal is beta n, and Z is to the power minus n. So for this part, what we obtained? We obtained a closed form 1 over 1 minus alpha Z inverse. Earlier we have solved this problem and we obtained it like this. with region of convergence, mod z is greater than mod alpha. This is the solution for this part. What about this part? 1 over 1 minus beta z inverse, provided mod z is less than some beta. Got my point? So the region of convergence or common region of convergence are the point where both the summations agree, where both the region of convergence agree. So suppose where both the regions agree, suppose if alpha is mod alpha is greater than mod beta. Okay, here the region of convergence is interior to this beta, means this is the region of convergence. Here the region of convergence is exterior to alpha. This was beta and this was alpha. So there is no common region of convergence. If alpha is greater than beta, then there is no common region of convergence, and therefore this Z transform does not exist. But suppose if alpha is less than this beta, then what will happen? Now beta is greater and this part agrees for every value which is less than this beta, and this alpha is less and this first part agrees for every value which is greater than alpha. So naturally this annular ring, this agrees for both the summations, and in this region the Z transform exists. Okay, so this is the significance of region of convergence, are the points of Z over which both the summation agrees to exist. Now if you closely look at the problem discussed so far, you may observe some things, and what are the observations that can be made? I will describe it by using this picture. In our first few problems, we taken finite duration signal like this. There were some finite duration signal, if you recall the first few problem, and finite duration signal also the causal signal, means right hand sided signal, and in causal signal the region of convergence was entire Z plane except Z is equal to 0. The entire Z plane was the region of convergence except this dot point, Z is equal to 0. Now if we looked the anti-causal finite duration signal, there the region of convergence was entire Z plane except Z is equal to infinity. This boundary Z is equal to infinity is not included in the region of convergence. Anything interior to this boundary comes under the region of convergence. Now if the signal is two-sided finite duration signal, so the region of convergence will incorporate these two effects, means region of convergence will be the entire Z plane except Z is equal to 0 and Z is equal to infinity. Okay, this was the situation when the signal was finite duration. When the signal becomes infinite duration, means alpha and un kind of situation. This is alpha and un kind of situation. In this situation, the region of convergence becomes exterior to some circle having radius r. If this is a causal signal, means right hand sided signal, then the region of convergence is exterior to some circle, and if this is anti-causal signal, the region of convergence is interior to some circle. Got the point? And if the signal is both sided infinite duration signal, both sided infinite duration signal, then both the parts come in the picture, and the region of convergence is common annular ring, and that too occurs only if this condition is satisfied, means R1 is greater than Z and is greater than R2. Only if this condition is satisfied, then we get common region of convergence. Okay. These things has to be kept in mind while solving the problem. Okay. We have evaluated the Z transform of the signal Xn is equal to alpha n un, where this alpha n signal will appear something like this. This sample at n is equal to 0 will have value 1, okay, because this is alpha to the power 0. Why? Because we will evaluate the Z transform by the leading expression n equals to minus infinity to infinity xn Z is to the power minus n. Got my point? So since this xn involves un, so the conditions of un is simply translated to the lower and upper limit of this summation, because un signal occurs only for n is greater or equal to 0. For n is less than 0, it is having value 0. So performing addition before n is equal to 0 is meaningless. Okay. So we will start performing addition from n is equal to 0 to infinity. Okay. And since the strength of un is 1, so this is now translated over here. So what is left over here is alpha n Z is to the power minus n, and this can further be written as summation n is equal to 0 to infinity alpha Z inverse to the power n. Now this can be assumed as a GP by assuming this to be equal to A. Okay. And what comes out to be the summation of this GP, which contains infinite terms? Okay. This is 1 over 1 minus common ratio, provided the value of common ratio should be less than 1. Okay. This is your intermediate formula coming from your intermediate mathematics. So 1 over 1 minus alpha Z inverse, provided mod of alpha Z inverse should be less than 1. Okay. This is the condition for this value to exist. Okay. This value will exist only if this condition is satisfied. Otherwise, this value will not exist. Okay. This value will not come out as a result. So alpha Z inverse less than 1 corresponds to a condition that mod Z is greater than mod alpha. Okay. So this is the numerical value of this Z transform, or closed form of this Z transform, and this condition gives the region of convergence. We have discussed it yesterday. This means a Z plane, on the Z plane we have the real part and imaginary part of Z mapped over it. Okay. So naturally the region of convergence will be the value of Z which is greater than some minimum value alpha. It should be greater than the circle. Now we will make a circle corresponding to this radius alpha, because all value which is less than alpha is not going to give you the converged series. This series will converge only if the value of Z is found to be greater than alpha. Okay. So this is the region of convergence. Now if we wish to evaluate the Z transform of un instead of alpha and un, if we wish to evaluate the Z transform of un, so simply this alpha n value becomes 1. Okay. Alpha n value become 1. So if we look at this expression, the xz is equal to 1 over 1 minus alpha z inverse. Okay, and if this value becomes 1, so this also becomes 1. Okay, so xz for un, if signal is means z transform of signal un is 1 over 1 minus z inverse, provided mod z is greater than 1. Okay, so mod z is greater than 1. Got my point? So what this says, that if xn is un, we have xz which is 1 over 1 minus z inverse with ROC mod z is greater than 1. You can also say this to be z over z minus 1. Okay, with the same ROC, no problem. Now you see what I wish to elaborate over here, that this relation is having zeros at z is equal to 0. Okay, you might have heard somewhere the name of poles and zeros. This I will explain you later on in my lecture in this Z transform also. But just for the simple elaboration, this is having one zero which is located at Z is equal to 0, and this is having one pole which is located at Z is equal to 1. So there is one pole which is located at Z is equal to 1. Okay, and the ROC is greater than 1. ROC contains all the values of Z which is greater than 1. So we will make a circle which excludes this pole. In Z plane, I am making a circle for region of convergence, to just to indicate the region of convergence, and region of convergence is exterior to this circle. This means the region of convergence is excluding the pole. Okay, and this is the condition with the region of convergence, that region of convergence should exclude all the poles of the system. It should not contain the pole of the system. Okay, for the system to be stable. We will discuss more about it later on. Now I will explain one more signal to you, and this signal will further come in picture while explaining the properties of Z transform. Suppose we have a signal xn is equal to un minus u n minus n. We have this signal, and we have to evaluate the Z transform for this. You might be knowing, if you plot this signal, you will first plot the un. This is your un. Okay, this is the plot for un. And what about the plot of un minus n? Simply this un is shifted by n unit in time. It is delayed by n unit in time. This means, suppose if n was somewhere here, suppose if n is situated somewhere here, so the same, this un is shifted and the samples are obtained from here. Okay, now resultant signal is un minus n. So what comes after this subtraction? What comes after this subtraction? The samples after this, they are lost while the operation of minus or subtraction. Samples after this subtracted from this, the result is 0. Okay, so which samples are left with us? From 0 to n minus 1. The samples of un the samples of un from 0 to n minus 1 is left with us because of this resultant. Okay. So, we have to evaluate the Z transform for this. Got my point? Now, this is a finite duration sequence. This is a finite duration sequence. Un is an infinite duration sequence. Un minus n is also an infinite duration sequence. It is one sided, no problem, but it is infinite duration. Okay. Now, let us evaluate. So, the Z transform of this xn is represented like this, or it can also be written as xz, and this is summation n is equal to the general expression or defining expression of Z transform if is summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity xn z is to the power minus n. Okay. And what is the value of value? This is equal to 1. This signal is equal to 1 from n is equal to 0 to n minus 1. This xn is equal to 1 from n is equal to 0 to n minus 1. So, we will put 1 over here for this range, and it is fruitful only in this range, and z is to the power minus n. Okay. So, if we put this value, this will come to be 1 plus z inverse plus going this way z is to the power minus, this term will be n minus 1. Okay. So, there are total n terms in this summation, n terms are there, and common ratio is z inverse. Okay. So, what will be the final sum? What will be the final sum? If you recall your intermediate mathematics, it will be 1 minus z is to the power minus n. Okay, common ratio, and 1 minus common ratio. Okay. This happens true only if z is not equal to 1. This is true only if z is not equal to 1. If z is equal to 1, then each and every term will be equal to 1. Okay. All these terms, they will be equal to 1, and 1 plus 1 up to n times. So, it will result into n. So, basically this Z transform can have two values. This Z transform can have two values. This is the value when Z is not equal to 1. This is the value when Z is not equal to 1. And this is equal to 1 when Z is equal to 1. Okay. And since this is also the Z transform, this is also the expression of Z transform. This is quite closed form of this expression. Okay. And if you look at this expression, you can very easily find out what will be the ROC. The ROC is entire Z plane except Z is equal to 0. Except Z is equal to 0, because this will be equal to 1 over Z. And as you make this Z to be equal to 0, this sum will blow up. This sum will become infinity. Okay. And this will not converge. So, the reason of convergence is all the points on Z plane except Z is equal to 0. Got my point? So, having finished these basic Z transform of these basic signals, now I will switch over to the properties of Z transform.